Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and very interesting puzzle from a debut setter, I think, today. Get to that in a minute. We've been getting loads of entries to the quite approachable Sudoku hunt. So many. I mean, it's absolutely gratifying that it's a significant proportion, like dozens of percent of our patrons are entering the competition. That's fantastic. Well done to everybody who's got the answer. Thank you for having a go. It is themed on the various apps that we have produced, so you may have had practice in those types of Sudoku perhaps, but very well done to anyone who's got through it. And do try the apps if you want more puzzles of that kind of standard. That's what they're all about, really. So that is our quite approachable Sudoku hunt on Patreon, where you can also see Simon's Fistamafel riposte. And look, I'm going to admit it's a much nicer solve of the Fistamafel 6x6 puzzle than I managed. So that's on Patreon as well. Do join us there if you can. It is brilliant that people do. Now, there are all sorts of things that you can link to under this video. You can look at those apps, our merchandise, where to go for our Discord server, our catalogue that's maintained by Heel Beanhacker. Really, there's a lot of stuff. But the Discord server is quite interesting because we got this email from Will Semmer, who he'd been in touch recently to ask what was the best puzzle hunt for him to have a go at from the past, because it just got isolated for COVID yet again. And we're really sorry for you, Will. But the upside was he produced this puzzle as well as having a go at that our second puzzle hunt, which we recommended. He's produced his first Sudoku and sent it to us during this COVID isolation period while he caught the disease. And looking forward to having a go at it. He's called Thunderstrucken, that's his pseudonym, and the puzzle's called Triple Kill because all the clues in it are divisible by 3, which is rather brilliant, I suspect. You can give it a try. It's basically a killer and little killer puzzle. So we've got a couple of given digits, very kind of Will to give us 9s. We have got some cages adding up to 6, 9, or 12. Even the 12 one can't have any repeated digits, but they must sum to the number given. We've got some little killer clues. These are diagonals that must add up to the number given. They can include repeats if they're allowed by normal Sudoku rules, which of course apply. And we've got one black dot. So the 2 digits on either side of this black dot have to share a 1-to-2 ratio. So they could be 4 and 8, 3 and 6, or 1 and 2, or 2 and 4. Those are basically the possibilities, I believe. Now, that's what we get. Do give it a try on the link under the video. Will was saying that he didn't have anyone else to send it to, so he was going to send it to us. Well, join the Discord server. You can always put it up there, and you will very, very often get some constructive feedback, praise, or criticism. Now, let's have a go at this. Do try it on the first link under the video. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. And the little killer clues are not wonderful. They all pretty much average 5 per cell. Like if you average 5 per cell, there's a lot of variable possibilities. Here, for instance, this 9 means that the other 2 cells in this diagonal add up to 9, which is an average of 4.5. There are 4 ways of doing that in 2 orientations, so there's 8 possibilities. This is exactly the same. No, I know. What this is about is how these cages interact with each other. Okay, we've got these 4 6 cages in a square here and another 4 up here. Now, the interesting thing about those is there are 2 ways of making up a 6 cage. A 1 and a 5 and a 2 and a 4. I suppose you could reverse the digits in each. So there are 4 ways, but there are 2 possible candidate sets. Now, the interesting thing about this arrangement is that candidate set must be different from this one because this cell can't be either of those digits. So if we colour these two red and these two yellow, the yellows might be 2 and 4, in which case they're both 2 and 4. The reds might be 1 and 5, in which case they're both 1 and 5, or it could be the other way around. Now the same's true up here, but we can't do red and yellow because they might not match with the ones down here. So I'll do green and purple up here. Oh, I see, and we've got these 9s as well. I don't know, do I see? Yes. Yes, that's interesting. These two cells add up to 9 because of the 18 clue. And that means the constituents of both of these 9 cages are the same. If that, for instance, was a 5, then this is a 4, and this is a 4-5 cage, and this is a 4-5 cage. And the same's true up here because, again, there's 2 9 cages and this 18 clue connecting them. So, I mean, they could all be the same as each other. So what I have to bear in mind in this puzzle, if I do solve it like this, and it's very pretty, so I probably will, orange could be the same as blue as a set of digits. And red and yellow must map to purple and green in some orientation. But what does this give me? It doesn't really sort out any of these diagonals. This one's particularly unhelpful. Something with the 12 cage, because we're using up at least 3 of the little digits that go in a 6 cage in this row and in this column. So right, got it. Well, I've got something, but I don't know whether it's going to apply to a row or a column. Oh no, okay, I'm not even sure it does work. I was thinking of these if these cages were 5 cages, I'll tell you what I was thinking. If these cages were 5 cages, then 3 of the digits from 1, 2, 3, 4 would be there. Now there wouldn't necessarily be a 4th one here because that wouldn't have to be a low digit. But if that was high, so there wasn't a 4th one in this row, then that would be low, this would be high, that would be low, and then in this column there would be. So one of the sides of this 12 cage would be 2 high digits, which would have to be a 5, 6, and we would know the 12 cage was a 1, 5, 6. And that was all very clever, but it was all total bobbins because these are not 5 cages, these are 6 cages, and the constituent digits that go into 6 cages, as you very well know, and it's taken me a moment to figure out, are 1, 2, 4, and 5. And that doesn't mean that this cell has to be a 1, 2, 4, or 5. Unfortunately. I think we may be able to rule out 4, 5 from these cells. I know, it's not a significant advance, but if that was a 4, 5, because of the colouring and this 18 relationship, this would be a 4, 5 as well. And then none of these digits could be 1, 2, 4, or 5. And the lowest 3 digits you'd have available for the 12 cage are 3, 6, and 7, which do not add up to 12. But that is, I mean, all I've done is ruled out orange from being a 4, 5 pair, which is hardly an advance here. I haven't really done anything in this puzzle at all yet. But it's about this, isn't it? It's about this 12 cage and how it connects up. Now this, what are the possibilities in a 12 cage? I'm just going to list them in my head. There are 1, 2, 9, which uses 2 of the 1, 2, 4, 5 digits. Then there's 1, 3, 8, which only uses 1. 1, 4, 7. 1, 5, 6. 2, 3, 7. 2, 4, 6. And 3, 4, 5. Now, most of those triples use 2 of the 1, 2, 4, 5 digits. But actually, I don't know. I'm not sure that's a problem. Because you could put one of them there and one of them there, and that could be, well, it could even be a 3, but it could be 6, 7, 8, or 9. And it all works. Oh my goodness, why am I not looking at 9s? Wakey, wakey. I'm sorry. If you've been shouting that for the length of this video, you are a smart person. Nines, look. Nines are ruled out of those cells. They're obviously not in any cages that are 6 or 9 in this puzzle. So there's a 9 in one of those two cells. We can write 9 in box 2. How have I missed this? That's ruling out all of those cells as a 9. So there's a 9 in one of those two. That becomes 9. That becomes 9. Oh my, I'm so slow today. Right, one of those is a 9 in box 5, but those are all ruled out. So one of those is a 9, not 6, 9, so that isn't. We get a 9 there. Now we've got these little pairs of 9 possibilities. Okay, that's very nice. If that was a 9, in row 4, this would be a 9, and then this would be a 9, but that would be too many 9s in this cage. So those are not where the 9s are. They're instead in these 3 cells. And look, we've got a 9 in the 12 cage. This is much more straightforward than all the thinking I was doing. A classic case of one of us piling into hard logic when there was much easier stuff available. But now we know that we're using all of 1, 2, 4, 5 there, and all of 1, 2, 4, 5 in this column as well. So these, which effectively make up 9, because they're the opposite sides of these, which clearly make up 9 given the 18 clue, these have to be digits that aren't 1, 2, 4 or 5, and they must therefore be 3 and 6, as must these on the inside. So orange has become a 3, 6 pair. Does blue have to be as well? No. Again, blue can't be a 5, 4 pair because that would be too many 1, 2, 4, 5s. But I don't think I can prove it's a 3, 6 pair yet. Now, as this, look, this 30 diagonal's got 2 9s on. These other 3 cells have to add up to 12. Nah, there's quite a lot of ways of doing that though. The 33K diagonal is not that interesting yet, I don't think. And then we've got this 27, right, that's got a 9 on. What does that do to these others? I mean, they're still averaging 4.5, which is not the sort of thing I wanted. Right, the black dot. The black dot cannot have 1, 2, or 4 in the top row because they're used up in those cells. So the only digits that can go on a black dot of this sort are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. So that's 3, 6, or 8. The one below is 3 or 6 or 4. Yeah, that's right. Now, what then? I don't know. I'm not sure. That's too many possibilities. If it was a 3, 6 pair, that would use up the 3 6s for the row. These would be a 7, 8 pair. I don't know what that means. Ah, that's on this diagonal though. Now, is this getting at all interesting? Oh, that's a low, right. That is 1 or 2, isn't it? Obviously. The other one of 1 or 2 gets used here. This also sees 3 and 6. Oh, it sees all 4 digits that are... Right, this cell sees all these 4 digits in the yellow and red cages, which uses all of 1, 2, 4, 5. It also sees 3, 6, and 9. So that is 7 or 8. There are other digits like this around. This one sees all the purple and green and the 3, 6. So that's 7 or 8. Are there others? Yes, this one does as well. It sees all of those purple, all of those green. Doesn't see 3, 6 this time, so not so good. Same here. There is a vast amount of symmetry, obviously, in this puzzle. This doesn't see all of them, but it does see all of them in the row, doesn't it? So this is left to be 3, 6, 7 or 8. This one, what does this see? It misses one of the yellows. So this could be a low number. Ah, hang on. This is low. And this is high and low. Ah, yeah, that's low. That's high and low. This must be high. So whatever from 1 and 2 isn't used there is used here. So this can't be 1 or 2. This can't be 4 or 5. Is that all that does? This one must do the same. That and that box use 1 and 2 as a virtual pair. So that's, now I've got a 1, 2 pair in this row. And in column 3. So 1 and 2 are confined to those cells. Oh, that's rather nice. They're going to have to be a pair in those two. How do I know that? Well, if I was to put, look, you can see from the disposition of these cells that 1 and 2 are ruled out of all of these cells in box 7. So they must be squashed into these 3 cells, both 1 and 2. But if you were to put one of them here, that would form a quadruple of 1, 2, 4, 5, both in the column and row. And then you couldn't fit another one of those into these 2 cells. So they are 1 each in those 2 cells. And therefore, the low is there. There's a low in there. This one is high. Wow, that's spooky. And I must be able to do this box as well. There's a low there. There's a low in there. This isn't low. There we go. So now I've got the 1, 2 pair in this box as well. And this is on... Let's have a look at the minimums. On this can't be 1 or 2 because it sees a pair again. And it can't be 9. I'm going to fill in all the possibilities. You may think that is just excessive good lifting of a cell. But let's add up the minimums here. 7 plus 1 is 8. These can't both be 3s because this cage needs a 3. So 7, 1, 4, 3, and 9. 8, 12, 15, 24. So there's only 3 degrees of freedom going on there. So I couldn't move this more than 3 numbers above the minimum number, which was a 3. I was going 7, 1, 4, 3, 9. Well, actually, this could be a 3, so then this could be a 6. So I've got to be careful there. I think 7, 8, 17. These would have to add up to at most 10. So this can't be an 8. And this can't be an 8 either. But they can't both be 3. You've got this as well. If there's even 1 3 here, this becomes 8, 4. 7, 8, 17. Maximum of 10, but these 2 could increase by 1 each. So somewhere between 8 and 10, the total of these 2 cells. So it's either a 6 and a 4, and we would know the order, or there's definitely a 3 in them. Now, if there's definitely a 3 in them, this becomes 8, 4, and that's not a 4. If, on the other hand, there isn't a 3 here, this is 6, 4. Oh, and that's impossible. That's brilliant. If this is a 6 here and a 4 here, which is the only way round it could not have a 3 in it, then this becomes 3. This becomes 8. That's all that's left once 6 and 3 are gone. And this would have to be 4, but we're saying this is 4. So this is not a 6-4 pair. There is definitely a 3 in one of these 2 cells. That's a very weird bit of pencil marking. There's clearly a 3 in one of those 2 cells. That's using up the 3s for rows 6 and 7. And we can take out 3 from this domino, and therefore it's mate 6. And we know now that that's an 8 and a 4. And weirdly, our first digits in this puzzle, apart from all the 9s, are the black dot digits. Now, does that help? This can't be a 4. Now, these two... Oh, this can't be 8 anymore. That's 7. Right, 16. Oh, this has been fixed by the 4, 5, and 1. Right, this diagonal's really coming together. 17. These two add up to 10, which was our maximum before. And they've got a 3, so they're 3 and 7. And we know that. That is just definite. It's a 3-7 pair. And how do we figure out which? Oh, maybe I can't. Right, but there's probably other things I can do. Look, I've got that 1, so that gives me 2 and 1. Now I know, well, for a while I've known which red and yellow were down here, and I haven't written them in, which is dopey. There we go. 5, 2, 4, 1, 9, 8. That is 3, 6, or 7. 2, 4, 9, 1, 7, 5. That is 3 or 6, so we can place 8 in the box. 2 there. That's going to sort out my green and purple as well. That's a 1-5 pair, so the other green is also a 1-5 pair. This is a 2-4 pair. We know the order, as with that one. Do we know the 1-5 order? I don't think so. But this now becomes a 2, and that becomes a 1. Oh, look, we get an 8 in the corner. 7 there. That's not a 7, so 7 in this row, and that's fixed the 7-3 pair. This can't be 3. What have we got? We could have a 6 here, perhaps. 3 there. That's a 6, yes. Ah, that's fixed this orange cage. Now, do I know what this is? It can't be 1-8 or 5-4. Or 2-7. So this is also a 3-6 pair. Wow, brilliant. This is so clever. That's not a 6. This is the last cell in its box. It's a 3. 4 goes there. Then there's a 5-7 pair. 8 there. Fixes 7. How come I haven't done this 2-4? I don't know. Probably missing something. This is a 5-6 pair. This has worked, hasn't it? 10, 27. Yes. Haven't got anything more on the 30 diagonal, but never mind. Let's have a look up here. This is a naked single. 8, because it sees a 3-6 pair, 9, 5, 1, 7, and a 2, 4. That can't be 8 or 6 or 3 anymore. That is actually a 7. Fixes the pair down there. This is 1 or 5. This is 2 or 4. That hasn't really ruled out much in this 30 diagonal, has it? I don't think so. 1, 5, 9, 2, 7. So this is a 3-4 pair. This is a 6-8 pair. This is a 3 and a 7. Ah, that's a 3 because it sees a 7 in column 1. This is a 5-8 pair. They're done. 3, 9. What have we got? 1, 2, 4, and 6 to put in here. Don't know how to do that. 7, 7. Ah, this is a 7. That's on the diagonal. Bingo. The diagonal now adds up to 25. So these two have to add up to 5. They're either a 1-4 pair or a 2-3 pair. This one can't be 2 or 4, so it's odd. So this one's even and can't be 4. So that's a 2, that's a 3. That's really pretty as well. 6 and 3, 6 and 3. I suspect we're closing in. Yes, this 4-2 is done now. That is done. That does the 2-4 down here. The 5-6 has got done by the blue cells at the top. That's a naked 1, 5 and 2. We can finish the box with a 1. That does the green over there. 4, 9, 3, 7, 2. 1, 2, 5, 2, 4 and 6. Right, I can do those in row 5. 2, 6, 4 like that. This is an 8 now. 2, 9, 4. That's 7. It's naked. That's 1 or 5. Now there is a diagonal somewhere I haven't used at all. 3, 2, 8, 9, 7, 4. 1, 5 and 6 left. So where's this? Here it is. It's got 3 sevens on it, is 21, and other digits that add up to 7 is 28. That must be a 5, and that will finish us off. That is a lovely puzzle. What a work of art. And look at that interesting deadly pattern that got finished off. I think if I'd done everything else, I'd have been left with this deadly pattern of 1s and 5s that gets finished off by the 33. That's a very clever puzzle by Thunderstruck, and so we certainly hope to see him constructing more puzzles in the future. Very interesting. I hope you had a go at that. I really enjoyed it. Very interesting puzzle. Good stuff. So thank you as always for watching us, following us, becoming a Patreon, subscribing to the channel, hitting the like button on the videos. Anything you do, we are very grateful for, and hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.